During World War II, the United States and the former Soviet Union were allies. Their alliance was formed to stop the advance of the Nazi war machine sweeping Europe. When the war came to a close in May of 1945, diplomatic relations between the United States and the Soviet Union became tense. The Soviet expansion was a threat to liberty across the globe, and the United States found itself in the distressing position of keeping an expanding and deadly Soviet empire at bay. On July 16, 1945, the United States detonated the world's first atomic bomb. Codenamed Trinity, the blast ushered in the atomic age and set the world on a course from which there was no turning back. Four years later, the Russians followed suit and detonated their own atom bomb, dubbed Joe 1 after Joseph Stalin. The ambitions of communism, coupled with the enormous power of the atom bomb, was a matter of grave concern to the United States. It became the utmost priority to closely monitor the growing threat of Soviet expansion. To gather the critical intelligence needed, President Dwight D. Eisenhower ordered the development of the U-2 spy plane. Built to fly beyond the reach of Soviet fighters, missiles, and radar, the U-2 would record vital images detailing the extent of Soviet military capacity. The U-2 became the United States' greatest secret, constructed and tested at a highly classified location in the Nevada desert now known as Area 51. On a cold November morning in 1955, 14 men boarded a military transport plane on a routine flight to Area 51. All 14 were engaged in the U-2 program. All conducted their research behind a veil of secrecy, forbidden to divulge information regarding the project to even their closest relatives. The C-54 transport plane departed from the Lockheed Air Terminal in Burbank, California. It was their regular commute and there was no cause for alarm. However, due to a severe early winter storm and owing to a number of factors beyond their control, the plane was blown off course. The pilot realized they were in trouble and radioed for help. No answering call was received. At 8:19 a.m., the C-54 impacted the south side of Mount Charleston at over 11,000 feet. In the days that followed, the Las Vegas Sheriff's Mounted Posse, along with United States Air Force personnel, made a grueling ascent of the snow-covered mountain to rescue any survivors. It was a 20-hour ordeal that pushed the endurance of the rescue party to the limit. In spite of their efforts, the rescue party did not find any survivors. All 14 men had perished in the crash. Upon their return from the mountain, the rescue party was sworn to secrecy, a government policy applied to all aspects of the U-2 program. The importance of keeping the program secret was so great that even the family members of the crash victims were given very few details of the incident. Unsure of how or why their loved ones had perished, the families endured years of uncertainty, their grief lacking a true sense of closure. As the families grieved in private, the nation itself was never given the chance to recognize the loss of 14 heroes, unaware of the sacrifice they made while in service to their country. The Silent Heroes of the Cold War Committee and its chairman, Stephen Ryrie, are working to see that the legacy of those that lost their lives is not forgotten. An effort is underway to erect a national memorial in honor of those who perished on Mount Charleston. In the shadow of the mountain that brought their lives to a close, a grateful nation will finally be able to pause and give thanks. The memorial will serve as a place of reflection for not only the lives lost that day, but for all those heroes who worked in secret and paid the ultimate price for our freedoms during the Cold War. For all those who worked so diligently to keep the worst of possibilities from becoming a terrifying reality, we give thanks. For all those who worked so diligently and lost their lives while behind that veil of secrecy, we now honor you. Please support the silent heroes of the Cold War. Help us create a memorial that for now and future generations will honor our silent heroes. It is our responsibility and our great opportunity to give them their due place in history.